So there's a phenomenon that many men who are on celibacy after a long duration of time are actually beginning to see that there's this profound truth that is being revealed to them in their relationships between themselves and women and the intersexual dynamics that are coming into play because of that. And what they've noticed is that women will just gravitate more toward them when they're on celibacy. And they want to know why this is, right? Like a lot of people don't know why this is the case. A lot of dudes are wondering what's going on. This might be the first time that they've experienced this kind of attention from women. And so they're trying to learn how to navigate this new terrain. And so I'm here to set the record straight and to hopefully give you some insight on why this is. So, celibacy in of itself is an act of being in a more proper relationship with your unconscious mind. And the more you are in a proper relationship with your unconscious mind, when you have a good relationship with the archetypes of your collective unconscious and your individual consciousness on your individual timeline, within the universal timeline or the multiversal timeline, however you want to look at it, then you're going to be able to relate to the opposite gender easier. And women will notice this. Women will notice your presence and they will want to be with you and around you because they feel like you are actually a man who does what he says. And it's true. Like you are like controlled chaos. And women love that. Why do you think women love cats so much, right? Why do you think women love cats? It's because they like that the cat is something that they can't really control, but the cat has its own individuality, but it's also very capable of snuggling when the cat wants, right? The women naturally gravitate toward cats in the same way they gravitate toward attractive celibate men. It's the same type of way. Because the celibate man who is attractive and knows he's attractive, but you don't even have to be like looks maxing in order to be attractive. Okay, your spirit is what makes you attractive. Your aura and your mind is like the melody of your life. Okay, you can think about this in many different ways. Like you can think about how the ways in which people are behaving around you and with you are going to determine how you are the way that you are. And that same thing goes with the kinds of music that you listen to, the types of content you consume, the types of people you interact with, the types of work that you do, the types of creativity you do. It's all part of who you are, right? Your mind is your power. Your spirit is your influence. Okay, I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Your mind is your power. Your spirit is your influence. This is why I think that it's more appropriate for you to have influence and want to have influence more so than wanting to have power. Of course, power is a byproduct of influence, though. Well, why be interested in power? Well, because do you really think that let's take this broad example, okay? Let's say that you and another man are having an argument. Okay, you and this other man are having an argument, and you can clearly beat the fuck out of this other guy. And this other guy truly believes that he's right. But let's say there are no guns, let's say there are no this, no that, like it's just your bare hands against his bare hands, but you know that for a fact you will win. Who do you think is going to be right, even if they're wrong? Okay, it's going to be the person that is able to pummel the other person and to kill them with their bare hands. Okay, even if you're wrong, and I'm not saying that you should want to be wrong, I'm just giving the example here. Women can sense this power within you. Okay, they can sense this influence within you. Because whoever truly wants it the most, like if you've ever been in a MMA fight or you've known about MMA fights or UFC or whatever, or boxing, you've ever been in a real like street fight either, you'll know that whoever wants to win most is usually going to be the winner. Because it's not always about technique and speed and specialties and such. It's about who wants it most, who has the will to survive. Think about Rocky. Okay, think about Rocky. Rocky, he wanted to just go the distance, right? He wanted to go the distance no matter what. And that's exactly what he did, because he knew he was probably not going to beat Apollo. But he wanted to at least just go the distance. That's all he wanted. And women can sense that about a man. Women can sense this resilience in a man. They can sense when the man actually has the spiritual stamina and the endurance to keep up with himself and to actually live in accordance to God's laws, statutes, and commandments. They can sense this. They don't always know that that's what it is, but they will gravitate towards that, because women are trying to get something from you, bro. They're trying to get something from you. And it's okay. It's okay. It's part of who they are. You're supposed to, as a man, have something to give. And if you as a man have something to give, you have something to offer, that's going to be way better for the long term anyway. You're going to actually have something of value to contribute to the relationship. And that is ultimately what women want. Women want value. And people in general just want value. Like, here's the thing about being an attractive man, though, especially if you're celibate. And if you're, like, let's say you're an attractive celibate man who's broke, which I don't really know many people like that. I don't know any celibate man who is actually broke and is not trying to better himself. But let's just say that that exists, right? If you're broke, no matter what you look like, no matter who you are, it's, as a man, we're not going to really get respect. We're just not. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that that's what it is. However, if you as a man are attractive, you're celibate, you've got your stuff together, guess who's going to try to come in to use you? Everyone. So we're like, as celibate men who are attractive, we're like the bastard between heaven and hell in some sense, because we have the best of both worlds, but we also have the worst of both worlds. And because it's almost like there's a crime tape around you, right? There's almost like this crime tape around you, because people know that you've been through some things. And because usually celibate men are celibate for a reason. Okay, especially attractive celibate men. They're usually celibate for a reason. And women will choose these types of men because they know that there's value. They just sense it, right? Because think about your physiognomy. Okay, think about your physiognomy and why you are the way that you are. If anybody's not familiar with physiognomy is essentially how your facial structure, your bodily structure can tell a lot about your soul. It can tell a lot about your spirit. So what is inward will reflect outward. Okay, your body is the reflection of your soul. Your body is, and your soul is the reflection of your body to some degree. It's both, like, you can't really have one without the other. And this is why women are attracted to your spirit, because, and they don't even know this, right? They don't even know that they're attracted to your spirit sometimes. They just know that there's something more to you. And that's why they see it. Like, and you can't really judge a man's attractiveness as a man. That's something else I found out, is like, you can't really judge a man's attractiveness as another man, because you might not see what that woman sees. Okay, because ultimately women are going to be the selectees. Right? They're like, or the selectors rather. Women are the selectors. And, well, how do I say this properly? Because depending on the semantics, you can kind of get lost a little bit. Men are the selectors and the choosers. Women are the choosees, or the choosees, and the selectees. They're the ones that are presenting themselves. They're the ones that have to give the application, right? And the more a man has, like, applications, so to speak, right? Like job applications before a relationship. The more a man has job applications before a relationship, the more value he's going to have. Like, have you ever been with a woman, or you've tried to talk to a woman and she's not really into you, but all of a sudden you're talking to another woman and now she's into you? Like, think about why that is. Okay, remember, why is that? Because they start to see, oh, wait, there's another person who values him. Now I have to have him. When women compete with other women for a man, They want a very specific type of man. But when men compete with men for another woman, they'll look at another woman and they'll be like, okay, well, I want a woman that is kind of like her. Like what's the Stacy's Mom Has Got It Going On song? It's like, where can I find a woman like that? Okay, men want a woman like that. They don't want that woman. They want a woman like that. Whereas women want that man that I like, right? That's the way that they frame it in their heads. So you have to be very mindful of this. You got to be very careful of this. And you just have to see it for what it is, right? There's something that you have to just recognize why that signal is going out and how they're receiving it. And you're going to be more aware of this on celibacy. It just is what it is. You're going to be more aware of this, and women will gravitate toward you if you are orienting yourself properly. Okay, if you are trying to get yourself together, you're actually trying to live a pure life, women will gravitate towards you. There's this saying where if you have no other way to attract women, just be a monk. And I think that that's very true to some degree, because why is that? Well, because you conquer lust, you conquer these worldly things, and you move beyond that. You move beyond it, and you move into something everlasting. And so that's why you have to be very mindful of how you're going about this and why you're going about it the way that you are. Life doesn't need to be so complex, okay? Life doesn't need to be super complicated. And especially as attractive men on celibacy, you're just going to see through things. You're going to see people's auras. You're going to see people's energy. You're going to be able to read energy better. But it's not the only way. Like, celibacy is not the only truthful way to see this and to actually experience this type of thing. Okay, so just keep that in mind as we go forward. But I hope this video was useful and insightful for you. Sign up for a one-on-one or the Godlike Master Initiation program that I have, or you can join the Regal Change Academy for free in the free tier. We also have the premium tier where that's the paywall into the group calls and the classes. But other than that, I hope you all have a blessed day. Peace. Until next time.